Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. Today, another in our Wide World of Food series. So today, I'm going to make pork Milanese. Now, you may ask yourself, didn't you make Wiener Schnitzel just a few months ago? I did. Guilty as charged. Wasn't this about the same? Oh, nay, nay, moose breath. So, Wiener Schnitzel comes from Austria and is typically veal. Milanese comes from France. It's typically pork. And there is typically a lot of Parmesan cheese mixed in with the breading. So it is similar, but it is different. Also with this, I'm going to make a French-inspired sauce. So let's get it going. First of all, man cannot live on Milanese alone. Oui, oui. Or if you can't speak French, ouai, ouai. So I'm going to fix some broccoli along with this. So let's get that prepped. I got a gallon Ziploc bag here. I'm going to dump in a family-size serving of broccoli. To that, I'm going to add some olive oil. You could use regular olive oil if you want, but if you have flavored, why not use it? I have some wild mushroom and sage here. About somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of a cup. And then I have some black pepper flavored olive oil. Need some seasoning. Cooking an Italian entree here, so I'm going to use some tastefully simple Italian garlic seasoning in it. Probably about a tablespoon. There's a lot of nooks and crannies in broccoli. A lot of good places for spices to hide. And to make this totally international, some Cavender's all-purpose Greek seasoning. About a tablespoon of that. Now we're going to shake the crap out of this bag and then set the broccoli aside because we have other things to do. All right. Now we're going to get our pork prepped. What I have here is some pork loin chops. See, there isn't a whole lot of fat in there. You know, and if you're going to grill it, you definitely want to get ones with bone in and good amount of fat on it and everything because that's where the flavor is. But we're going to add a lot of flavors through the breading. So, got it down. On top of that, we're going to put a Ziploc bag. And then we're going to whack our pork for a while to get it nice and thin. About 1/8 of an inch thick. So get yourself a good sturdy pork whacker and whack away. Once you have it to about the thickness you want it and nice and even, chuck that aside and whack some more pork until you got all your pork whacked. I'm going to continue whacking my pork off camera and then we'll be back for the next steps. See you then. All right, all the whacking is complete. Now let's set up our dredging station. In this bowl, I have about a cup of flour. And with that flour, I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. And about a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Get that all mixed up. In our next bowl, we have 2 chicken seeds. We're going to crack them. Then we're going to scramble them. Then we're going to mix in a cup of milk or moo juice. In the last bowl, I have about a cup of Italian panko. And with that is going to go 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now, we here at the Galley of the Sun make something called magic cheese, a mixture of Parmesan, Romano, Asiago, and Mistra. That's what I'm adding. And there's a link right there to the video how we make this. Get that all mixed up, get any lumps out of there. Now we'll get a few of these breaded up so we're ready when we get the oil ready over at the oven. So, just like any dredging station, into the flour first, then into the egg milk bath, covered, so your breadcrumbs stick. Let the excess run off. This is not a fast process. And then into the breadcrumbs. Press it down a little bit. Get that nice and coated. Breadcrumbs are cheap. Don't skimp. All right, that one's done. Set it aside. I'm gonna get a couple more done, and then we'll head over to the stove. We'll see you there. All right, we got the pork all breaded up. Now I'm gonna add enough oil to where I have about a 1/2 inch in my cast iron skillet here. And then we're gonna get that heating on medium-high heat. We're gonna add in a tablespoon of butter because we can. We're gonna keep a good eye on our oil until it gets up to about 375. I want to fry these at 350 degrees, but as soon as we put that pork in there, it's gonna drop the temperature. So put it at 375, you get your big temperature drop, voila, you're at 350. And we're at about 170 right now. Hey, a pro tip, something that drives me crazy. When you're using an infrared thermometer like this, and I've seen it in a bunch of different videos where people are checking the temperatures of their griddles and such, you'll see 2 dots. You want to move your thermometer to where you only see 1 dot. Then you're getting an accurate reading. When you see the 2 dots, it's not accurate. So since I'm going to be using my oven to keep the pork warm as I work through the 2 batches, I'm going to use my trusty Ninja XL grill to roast the broccoli. So I have it set for 350 degrees for 20 minutes. So it's preheating now, it'll beep, I'll chuck that stuff in, I won't have to mess with it until it beeps again, telling me it's done. All right, oil's up to temp. Now we're going to get our cutlets in there. Cook them about 3 minutes per side. So very important, lay them away from you. Safety first. Nice and easy. If your pan's not this big, just do as many as it takes to where you can get your even coverage. In fact, I can only do 3 at a time, so I'm going to have 3 batches. All right, we'll let those fry, and we'll get back to you when they're done. All right, so I forgot an important step, but I caught it in time. So once your pork comes out of that oil, you want to hit it with a good amount of your Parmesan cheese, or in our case, the magic cheese. All right, now these are going in the oven, 200 degrees to stay warm as we finish up. All right, we're on the short strokes now. I have emptied most of the oil out of the pan. Now in goes our garlic and our shallots. You'll notice I haven't said a lot of amounts during this. Down in the description section, as always, are the ingredients, their amounts, and the instructions. We're only going to cook these for about a minute until it gets good and aromatic. And we are there. Now in goes our wine to deglaze the pan. I'm going to work and scrape all the bits off the bottom there. Now in goes 3 tablespoons of butter, which is very much at room temperature. And our heavy cream. Parsley flakes to make it look pretty. And the juice of half a lemon, or half the juice from an entire lemon. It's up to you. This is easier. I'm going to stir that up until it's mixed together and thickens up a little bit and reduces by half. Then we're ready to eat. Oh, and I almost forgot the Parmesan cheese. All right, everything's done. Let's get it plated up. The moment of truth. Let's give this a try. See how our Italian pork with our French sauce came together. Oh, damn, that's good. Try one more bite with the lemon juice on it. Definitely, you definitely want to add the lemon juice. Fantastic. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and never miss an episode. What is your favorite Italian-French mishmash? Put it down in the comments. Maybe you'll give it a try. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. Until we see you next time, fair winds and following seas.